people, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this video. We are gonna rank all of the BH Cosmetics Birthstone palettes from this year. This whole year, BH Cosmetics have been releasing one palette each month in this Birthstone series, and I have been reviewing all of them, doing looks with all of them, and now we are gonna look back to all of the palettes during 2021. I'm gonna let you know which ones I think are the best ones, which ones I think are the worst ones, which are my favorites, if you were like aiming to pick some of them up now that we've seen all of them. And if you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty makeup. I love everything beauty and makeup related. I love especially reviewing eyeshadows and a little bit more on the colorful side. So if you want to see more of that, like this video here, definitely do subscribe because I upload, well, normally I upload 5 videos a week, but right now I'm uploading every day until Christmas. So I have all of the palettes here in front of me, and we are gonna go through them from like the ones I think are the worst to my absolute top best ones. I have been buying these myself. These weren't sent to me as PR. I did actually get sent one of these as PR, but I gave that away in a giveaway because I had already bought it myself, and that was the first one. That was the January one, and I only got that as PR because I'm actually a January baby myself, so BH Cosmetics sent it as like, I don't know, birthday gift or something. This chair does not come with the move. I'm so sick and tired of this squeaky chair. But I have been using all 12 of these palettes. I'm actually wearing one of them today. I'll get to that in a bit. I will leave the playlist down below where I am using and swatching and like reviewing all of these in case you're interested in seeing swatches and like my look and like my thoughts on them at the initial thoughts on them. There's only one of these palettes that I actually don't think is like that good. I don't think that it's the equal quality as BH Cosmetics usually does. I love BH Cosmetics. It's one of my absolute favorite brands when it comes to eyeshadows. I think they make amazing palettes, amazing like eyeshadows. So that's the reason why I've been jumping on this train, been reviewing all of these throughout this year. So let's just start at the bottom position and work our way up. And at the bottom position, it's going to be the aquamarine one for February. This is the only one. This is what it looks like. This is the only one that I honestly don't think is as good quality as the other ones. The more I've used the other ones, the more I've used this one, swatched them, compared them, like really thought about it, these mattes are not as pigmented and not as like buildable, and like they don't have as much substance as normally really good BH Cosmetics mattes do. There's just something about these that are just not as good. I don't hate the color story though. This is basically like the idea of the Birthstone palettes is that it's a 7-pan palette for $9. A very affordable little palette that came out once a month. The 1st of March, for example, this, did I say February before? It is March. I meant March. The 1st of March, this one for March came out, for example, and I bought them at the BH Cosmetics website. You cannot buy these at Ulta or Beauty Bay, that they're only available at the website. And it has one big shade that represents like the color of the month. This was aquamarine. Then it has a couple of shades that BH Cosmetics thinks goes with this shade. So these shades aren't necessarily meant to like represent the stone. Only this big one is. Each and every one of these palettes has pressed glitter. If you don't like pressed glitters, just see this as a 6-pan palette for $9 instead. It's still a fairly affordable price. The pressed glitters aren't something that I reach for. I don't really use pressed glitters that I'm not having a glitter period in my life right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. So for me, this is in the bottom position because I think that this one is lacking a little bit in quality next to the other ones. Now that I've compared all of them, now that I've tried all of them. The 11th position is going to be Ruby for July, and the main reason that Ruby for July is the 11th position is that I think they did this color story but better in another month, and I'll get to that in a bit. I don't really dislike the quality of this at all. I just think that this is a little less exciting than the one that I'm going to show you. I will put this one to the side so I can compare them when we get to it. I just think that this one is a little less exciting than the other one that had a red theme, and I also think that these two shades are a little bit too similar to each other. This one is slightly more pinky leaning, this one is slightly more on the warmer side, but at the end of the day they're fairly similar to each other, and I just think the other red palette was better than this one. So if you're looking for a good quality red eyeshadow palette that has a red matte in it, I would recommend the other one that we're gonna come to instead over that one. Not that it's bad, I just think that this one wasn't as well executed as the other red palette in the series. Next, we're gonna do Pearl. This is Pearl for June. I am not a neutral lover, and that is the main reason why this is in this position. This is honestly a really nice small neutral palette. It has dark shades, it has mid-tone shades, it has like neutral shimmers, and like a inner corner highlight that you can also use as a cheekbone highlight if you want to, and this like iridescent peachy type of a glitter. If you love neutrals, I'm sure you will like this because this is very, very good quality. but I am not a big neutral lover, especially not an all neutral palette. So for me, this is like not the perfect palette for me. But if you like neutrals, I'm sure you'll love this one. For me, it's just not that exciting. The next one is actually a palette that I've been reaching for quite a lot. And the only reason why this is quite far down is that this isn't a palette that I would reach for other than to use these like pastels as transition shades, and that is how I have used this. So for me, this is the opal one for October, and I really like the quality of this. If you want to try out pastels and you only want to spend $9, get 3 pastel mattes and like this pastel pistachio metallic, you get a pressed glitter, and this like raspberry more darker metallic, plus this looks like it's a white but it's actually a pink iridescent shade. I mean, it's nice. This one, the big one, isn't as good quality as some of the other big shades, but it's okay. It's a nice palette. The pastel mattes are extremely good quality though, so if you want to try some pastel mattes, I definitely recommend. It's $9, but if you think you're gonna like pastel mattes, I would recommend the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles over this one. The only reason why this is farther down, I think this is good quality, but this isn't a palette that I'm gonna reach for other than to use the pastel shades as transition colors. And I will say, I have actually done that a bit, so I don't think it's a bad palette for that, but just that I am not the person that does an all pastel look that often. I did have a bit of a thing in the beginning of the year when I was doing more lighter looks, but now I'm back to normal with my more like dark and dramatic eye looks, because that's like more what I like. This is the palette that I'm wearing today. This is the turquoise palette for December. I really like the quality of these shadows. I think the quality is beautiful. The only thing that's keeping this from being higher position is that this brown, I wish that this was either a matte black or a darker brown so that you could properly like deepen up the look, because these two, they are the same depth. So you can't really deepen up the turquoise with this one. I did do that, and I blended them together to get this like a little bit of like intentional muddiness to make it look a little darker, but I did actually go in with a little bit of matte black as well, because that is like how I like to do my looks. But in the same breath, I would like to say that you have 2 matte neutrals and 2 shimmer neutrals, plus you have 2 turquoises, so you can do an all neutral look and you can do an all turquoise look with this palette. So for that reason, it's quite versatile. I just wish that this one was darker so that you can actually deepen up the turquoise with this one. Other than that, this is really good quality. I mean, I really like the eye look that I have on. If you're interested in this eye look, it's going to be in the... I will link the playlist and I will also link this look separately down below in case you're interested. Next palette is a palette that initially when I tried this palette out, I said that I think this is going to be my least favorite palette. I remember saying that, and I remember thinking that, but how the turntables, I really enjoy this one. This only shows that sometimes you can change your mind when it comes to makeup. It doesn't happen to me that often, I'm gonna be honest. I rarely change my mind about makeup, but this is Diamond for April, and I have grown to quite enjoy this palette. This is the one I reached for when I wanted a matte black to deepen this look up a bit. This is, if you like the idea of the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, like a little palette, like companion palette on the side to just reach for when that palette or the look that you're trying to do, it doesn't just really have everything you want. It is a matte, almost white. It is a matte black. It has some shimmer in it, but if you really blend, the shimmer will disappear. If you pack it on, the shimmer will show. There is a silver metallic, a white metallic, 2 like neutral transition shades, one more peachy leaning and one more like brownie leaning, and then it is a like a silver glitter. This is a really good companion palette. I can't lie, this is a good companion palette. I have reached for this. Out of all the palettes you see here, this one I have reached for the most. I probably reached for this like 10 times during this year since I reviewed it in April. It is a really good quality palette, and it is a perfect companion palette. And if you want to have something like the Xenon palette, but you don't want to buy a mini palette for $25 or what it is, this is $9. I'm sure you can get it on a sale as well. I'm sure BH Cosmetics is going to have a sale again around like Christmas time. Last time they had a sale, all of the Birthstone palettes were 50% off, which means it's $4 and some change. I'm not saying that you need any of these, but definitely if you were on the fence, wait until a sale. Maybe some of them will sell out. I mean, these are limited edition, and I don't foresee them keeping this throughout the next year. So if you were interested, this might be the time, to be honest. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this as a companion palette. I think it's really nice. This is when it started getting really hard, because this is going to be top 6, and all 6 of these palettes have been palettes that I have been extremely impressed by, and I was extremely impressed from the get-go. The first impression of these palettes was, wow, I'm impressed, and I'm still super impressed. I'm gonna put Emerald from May here. This is a really nice, moody, dark color story, and I really love these colors. I think they are amazing. I've had a lot of fun with this. The only reason why this is not further up is because I don't necessarily think that these shades, like, I like to go in with a palette and use a couple of shades in the palette. This is the kind of palette that is going to be perfect together with something else, but some of the other palettes have more shades that I feel go together, but I still think this is so beautiful, and you can do such amazing looks with this. Like, I really want to do like a using one shade from each of these palettes and do a look like that. I kind of want to do that. I really would like to do that. I'm gonna bring these palettes when I move, and we can do something later on, or maybe I can play. I don't know. I really enjoyed this. This dark murky like khaki green is an amazing quality khaki green. This is like a shade of you've been looking for. It might just be worth $9 for that shade, because that shade was really, really good. Here is the red palette that I think is better than Ruby. So I still kept Ruby around. This is the Garnet one from January. Again, this is the one that this is the one I bought, and the one I got in PR I've actually given away. This is for me. I'm gonna show you like how they look side by side, just so you can see why I think that this one is better. Wait, I'm struggling. Struggle buzz. Okay, so the bottom one is the January one, and the top one is the one that I didn't think was as good. This one has more contrast. It goes lighter and it goes deeper, and also these like deeper browns really deepen up this like matte red in a really nice way. These are pretty similar. Like, they're not dupes. Like, if you really look at them close up, they're not dupes, but they're so similar that I just feel like this palette wasn't as thought through as this one. Because with this one, you have contrast, you can go drama, and you have this like metallic white as well, so you can get that really, really nice contrast. If you like red eyeshadows and you don't want as much contrast as I like, maybe you will like this more, to be honest. It's not a bad quality one, but I prefer this one because I love the contrast, and because I love that this one, you can go all neutral if you want to, you can go all red if you want to, and you can get that like nice contrast in. I don't like any of these two press glitters. I do prefer the black one over this red one though, if I'm gonna be totally honest, but yeah, I just think that that one was like the Garnet one. I like that one a lot more, and the look that I did with it in the video is like one of the best looks I've done with the Birthstone palettes throughout this year. I just think it's such, I really, really love it. This is the Amethyst one for February, and initially when I tried this out, I said I liked the Garnet one more, and in a way, as an all-compassing palette, maybe I do, but with this one, I think I like all of the shades better, because this one doesn't really have any neutrals, and that is something that I really enjoy. The palettes that they have done that haven't been like a half neutral one, I really like that they committed to the purple theme, and I know some people are gonna say this is pink. You are allowed to say that. I do think that both like cool tone purples and warm tone purples, I still think they're purples. I don't think that every warm tone purple is a pink. That is my humble opinion. You are absolutely okay to disagree, but for me, this is a purple palette with one peach. That is how I see it. That is what I see. I get so many comments sometimes that are telling me that my opinion is wrong. You're allowed to disagree with me, that's fine. Just don't tell me I'm wrong because I don't agree with you. Like, we can both be right. We just see things differently. It's okay. It's okay. I think this is a really pretty palette. I really enjoy this palette. For me, when I reach for this one the next time, I will probably mix it together with the Diamond palette, because I really love some contrast, and I think that this one together with like a matte black and a metallic white, this is gonna be heaven. But this is a really nice berry palette. Maybe this one should have been in the Battle of the Berry palettes, now that I think of it. That's a really nice one. Okay, top three palettes. I cannot believe I'm putting a half yellow, half brown palette as number 3, but I really enjoy this one. If you were wanting to try the more honey toned neutrals, if you wanted to have some yellows, this one is so nice. I loved the look I did with this one, and I will say none of these palettes have made me feel like I cannot wait to wear this again as much as this one does. There is none of these palettes that have that like, I cannot wait to wear this again the way that this one does. And I cannot remember the last time a brown palette made me feel like that, but I think it is this beautiful sunflower like shimmer here that's just so stunning and so striking. I think that that is what does it. And I feel like this palette really is a really nice, dynamic and versatile palette because it has again a matte yellow and a shimmer yellow. So if you just want to do like a really bright and fun yellow look, you definitely can. This one is really pigmented, really pretty, an amazing quality one. But you also have 4 neutrals here, so if you want to take an all neutral route, you definitely can do that as well. I really enjoy this, and I think that this palette encompasses like the brown and yellow trend in a $9 format, and I'm not sad about it. It was really hard. It was really hard, the top 2, because in a way, I like both of these palettes equally, but I'm gonna put Sapphire for September in the spot number 2 for the main reason that next time I use this, I will probably bring in something else. It's just a stunning palette though. Like this one, the mattes in this one, like the quality of it's a dark green matte and a mid-tone green matte, and then there's a purple matte, and then you have this like confetti, almost rainbow sprinkle glitter. You have 2 metallics here, and then this like dark cool tone purple one. This one is so gorgeous. The quality of this one is amazing, but in a way I feel the same way about this one as I feel with the May one, that I am most probably going to use this one together with something else. I'm just lacking a little bit of contrast in this one, but I can't deny that the quality of this is amazing, and I love that there are no browns in this one. The same way as I love that there is browns with the yellow in this one, I kind of love that there's no browns in this one, that instead of having a pop of neutral, they just popped in a green, and I love it. I think that's amazing, but this one is my favorite. This is the Peridot for August. I love this palette so much. There is a yellow, there's a dark green, this beautiful like lime green shimmer, and then this dark green shimmer here, and you have some neutrals. So again, if you want to keep it on the neutral side, you can. And I really love that there are 4 mattes here that go together but still can take the look in totally different directions. Either of these are going to work together. Yellow and green together are amazing, but you can also use this one as a transition shade and deepen it up with the green. If you don't want to go to yellow route, it's totally possible. Use this one on the lid. You have more of a cool tone smoky green eye. So pretty. I just really enjoy this palette. I love that all of these are, like I said, they go together, but they're also different enough. And this one is so bright that you can use this as an inner corner highlight without any doubt. But like, I mean, I love a bright inner corner highlight like that. And also this would work so well together with that diamond palette. I'm telling you, the diamond palette, it's like a really good companion palette. Such a good companion palette. That would be so fun to do sometimes. Like the perfect companion palette. What would you have in the perfect companion palette? That's actually a really good idea. Because now, just as I said it, I had so many thoughts, like what would be the perfect companion palette? Because I don't think I own it, but I would love to create it. Anyways, let me know what you think about this whole series. Which ones are your favorite? Did you purchase any of them? Are you holding out to see all of them before you bought any? Did you skip the entire series? I have really been enjoying this, and after the snooze fest that I personally thought that the Zodiac palettes that they had for, was that 2020 that they did the Zodiac palettes? I really disliked those, and I think main reason why I disliked them is because the packaging and the format and the way that they were laid out just made them look like cheap children's makeup, and I feel like this one is so much sleeker and nicer. Really have been enjoying this series. I really hope, I have been looking forward to the first of each month to be able to see the new palette. I really hope that they do something similar next year because I've been enjoying this, and I also really hope that next year, no press glitters. Just make it a 6-pan palette then. Just make it a 6-pan palette. I'm totally fine with that. Make it a 6-pan palette. Just no press glitters. I don't want that. I don't want that. I wouldn't have been mad if they made 11 palettes without press glitters and then just made the opal one all press glitters. I would have liked that a whole lot more, to be honest. But yeah, that's gonna be it on this series. Have you been following along this entire year? This has been such a journey. I've really been enjoying it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you didn't forget to subscribe because I'm gonna have a video tomorrow as well, and I would love to see you then too. Bye!